My name is Hudson Miller. I'm a sophomore studying economics at Harvard. I am from Fort Worth, Texas. I graduated from a tiny high school with three other people in my class, and I went to the University of Oklahoma right out of high school. I quickly learned I was not prepared for college. I wasn't disciplined. I didn't do my work. I just wasn't ready. And so I left after one semester with a 1.69 GPA, and I was very embarrassed. I thought I was going to do better. I thought it was going to be easier, and it just wasn't. So I came back to Fort Worth, Texas, and I started going to a community college and knockout classes. But I realized I still needed something more. I needed something to give me that oomph, that kick in the pants, that next thing that would really set me apart and challenge me. And so I found myself in the Marine Corps office. I signed a contract for 5 years as a reconnaissance man, and I thought I was going to be just it was going to be another cakewalk. I thought I was going to do well. Little did I know that I would quickly realize that I hadn't prepared for that program, and so I was dismissed very quickly. And so I left and was given the illustrious title of a postal clerk, which I didn't even know was a job in the military, but that's where I ended up. I was embarrassed. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what wanted to do. I knew I wanted to go back to school eventually, but I didn't know how to do it. I destroyed my GPA. I wasn't ready I didn't even know what to do. I didn't have any answers. I didn't know anything. And so first I started asking questions to people. I started reaching out to different colleges, kind of seeing what I needed to do, what was the best way to get academically prepared, to build myself back up, to repair the damage I had done. And so first I started taking classes to kind of repair that GPA. Throughout the next 2-3 years of my enlistment, I started doing online classes at a community college. I actually retook a class at OU because I had failed a class, and I realized that that was the quickest way to improve my GPA. So I actually retook that when I was deployed in 2017 to Darwin, Australia. And I realized that my GPA was getting better. It slowly started creeping up. It passed 3.0, and I realized school was a possibility. It wasn't all doom and gloom. I realized that putting in the work and powered by the discipline offered by the military and taught by the military, I was able to find success a lot easier. It was still hard work, but it was so much easier when you had the discipline backing you up. You had the preparedness, you had the time management, all these skills that students really utilize and thrive with. I found that I had developed those during my time in the Marine Corps. And so when I returned from that deployment in September of 2017, I had a new desire. I was reinvigorated to go back to school. I attended a class at the education center at Camp Foster in Okinawa, Japan, and it was for people aspiring to go back to school. And they gave you the lowdown. They gave you all the tools, the tricks, and I was overwhelmed by how much I had to do. But the first thing I did was I kind of asked, where do I stand? What's holding me back still? And I realized something that my GPA was okay. It was fine. But I realized that I could do so much better by taking my SAT. So I studied for 3 to 4 months and retook the SAT at 24. And it was humbling. But again, it was such a smoother process because of that preparedness that the military had given me, for the discipline, for the skills they had given me. And even though I'd been out of practice, I'd been out of the classroom, it was such a better transition. I had an incredible support system with my wife. She sat there and helped administer practice SAT tests every other weekend. My family was incredibly helpful. And organizations like Service to School, the Leadership Scholar Program, were instrumental in providing encouragement, saying that it is possible, but also the experience they bring to veterans and active duty members because they've done that before. You're not, though you are unique and special, you're not. Your story it has come before, and they have the tools, they have the experience to point you in the right direction. So when I got those SAT scores back and I'd done so much better than I could have ever imagined, I knew I could do it. I started applying to colleges. I worked with Jim Selby with the VetLink program at Service to School, and he reviewed all my essays. I worked hard and did it all that way. And then lo and behold, I had applied to Harvard and other schools that I never imagined applying to, and I started getting positive feedback. I had a interview request, and I set up an interview on a Thursday morning at 4 in the morning, and I woke up, got dressed groggily, tried to wake up, and I got to talk about my story. I got to share my journey. I had the opportunity to talk about my ups and my downs and the progress that I'd made, the discipline that I had attained. And it was honestly relieving to get to share my story in a way that really gave a full picture of me as a student. And shortly after that, I got a call one morning leaving the gym in Okinawa from the gentleman who had actually interviewed me from the admissions office, letting me know that I'd been accepted to Harvard. And my world was shook. I couldn't even walk. I sat down and I was just blown away. I never dreamt of going to a school of that caliber. I had thought state schools were out of my league because of how poorly I'd performed. And so it was honestly inspiring, and it keeps me going knowing that hard work does pay off. The skills that I learned in the military, though I was postal, though they don't directly translate those hard skills, the underlying skills of discipline, of work ethic, of all these things that are commonplace in the military set me up for success. So returning to the classroom was easy. I knew that I didn't know all the answers, but I also knew how to ask questions, how to ask people for help, to use the support system that these schools have in place to really excel, to do well. And that's how I found success. I am not special. I wasn't special forces. I wasn't a complete stud when it came to the military, but I had so many downs, but I had an equal amount of ups. And I learned so many lessons along the way. And I had an incredible support structure of family, of friends, and of great organizations to help me along the way. And there's so many opportunities for veterans who are and active duty members who are interested in going back to school, but they're just lost.